Along the sun-baked hillsides of the Mediterranean, where the soil is thin and the summers are merciless, grows a tree that has quietly fed civilizations for thousands of years. The carob, known to botanists as Ceratonia siliqua, is an evergreen that thrives where almost nothing else will. Its dark, leathery leaves resist the drought, and its roots dig deep into rocky ground, drawing water from places other crops cannot reach. For centuries it stood in the shadow of the olive and the vine, yet its long brown pods have shaped diets, economies, and even the language we still use today. The carob tree is native to the eastern Mediterranean and the Middle East, and its story begins in the ancient world. The Egyptians used its sweet pulp to sweeten food and to bind the ingredients of their sacred rituals. The Greeks and Romans cultivated it widely, prizing the pods as food for both people and livestock. In lean seasons, when grain failed, the carob endured, offering a reliable harvest of energy-rich pods that could be dried and stored for years. Perhaps the tree's most curious legacy lies in its seeds. Each pod contains small, hard seeds of remarkably uniform weight. Ancient traders discovered this consistency and began using the seeds as a standard measure for gold and precious stones. From the Greek word for the carob seed, caration, comes the word carat, the unit jewelers still use to weigh diamonds today. A single seed, it was believed, always weighed the same, and so the humble tree became a keeper of value across the ancient marketplaces of the world. Growing carob is an exercise in patience. The trees are slow to mature, often taking 6 or 7 years before they bear fruit, and reaching their full yield only after 15 years or more. But once established, a carob tree can live for a century, producing pods year after year with little water and almost no need for fertilizer or spraying. Farmers plant both male and female trees, for the carob relies on this pairing to set fruit. When autumn arrives, the ripened pods hang heavy from the branches, and the harvest begins. Traditionally, workers climbed the trees with long poles, beating the branches so the dark pods would fall onto cloths or nets spread across the ground below. It is slow, physical labor, unchanged in many places for generations. Once gathered, the pods are dried in the sun and then processed. The fleshy pulp is roasted and ground into carob powder, a sweet substance that looks and tastes remarkably like cocoa. This is where the tree earns its quiet fame. For those who cannot eat chocolate, carob has long served as a substitute, naturally sweet and free of caffeine. Yet the pod holds a second, hidden treasure. The seeds, once discarded, are the source of locust bean gum, a natural thickener extracted from their inner tissue. This gum finds its way into ice cream, sauces, and countless processed foods, stabilizing textures and binding ingredients in ways few consumers ever notice. So the same pod that flavors a chocolate alternative also thickens the very ice cream it might accompany. The name locust bean carries its own weight of history. Many scholars believe that the locusts eaten by John the Baptist in the wilderness were in fact these pods, giving the tree its old name, St. John's bread. In times of famine, across many cultures, the carob was food of last resort, sustaining the poor when nothing else remained. Today, the carob tree grows across Spain, Portugal, Italy, Morocco, and other lands ringing the Mediterranean. Spain remains among the largest producers, its groves supplying both the powder and the gum to markets around the globe. As the world grows warmer and water grows scarcer, the carob is drawing new attention. It asks so little of the land, resisting drought and heat, that farmers increasingly see it as a crop suited to a changing climate. From ancient measure of gold to modern thickener of ice cream, from famine food to health-conscious treat, the carob has never stopped feeding us. It remains a tree of quiet endurance, standing on the dry hills, offering its dark pods to whoever will gather them, a witness to the long partnership between humanity and the crops that sustain it.